Consider supporting the channel by picking up a shirt or a hoodie. I'm especially fond of the Make Battlefront 2 Great Again design. Order in the next 48 hours to receive 30% off. Link in the description. I'm coming at the haters, they're making me more famous cause my videos got more force than Darth Vader. Go! Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Turkish Delight, back with another Battlefront 2 news update. Today's video is going to be a summary of replies from community manager Ben Walke on a Reddit post that gained a good deal of traction and where Ben replied to several comments and questions. I will read his responses to some key points and then give my thoughts on what he had to say. Starting with a direct response to the post itself, the original poster called back a reminder to a comment Ben had made when he first became community manager about blowing the dam open, meaning to flood the game with content, so to speak. Seeing as this hasn't exactly happened as expected in the 4+ months since that comment, this post seemed fairly justified, but Ben had a fairly in-depth response to the post, which reads, "I'm reminded of it every day. When I first made the comment, I did so knowing what our content releases would be like over the next few months, compared to what they were in the months previously. Compared to the first few months, there has been content. Now, whether it's content that you want or expect is a different story, I guess. If we could go back to launch and be releasing content and updates at the same cadence that we have been since March 21st, then it might currently be a different story. That said, I do know there is content coming, starting with Part 2 of Season 2, and then you'll hear more at EA Play also. The communication aspect of it is still something I want to improve, or rather, fix. I do believe that there is a lot more communication now than what there has been in the past, but the transparency layer still needs a lot of work done to it. Unfortunately, turning a ship around of this size has taken longer than I expected, but I'm still on the deck with the wheel locked at 180 degrees. There has been a lot of movement made, especially within the last few weeks. I'm hoping that this will fall into action shortly." Now, as to the first part of what Ben said, regarding it being a different story if they could go back to launch and release content at the same rate as they have been since March 21st, I have to say I completely agree. DICE and EA kind of shot themselves in the foot by setting the standard with the successful DLC drop with The Last Jedi. A new map, new heroes, and in-game live service events and challenges that rewarded the players. That was great, but it set the standard for what the community expected in the future. Now that the rate of content has significantly dropped since then, it makes this long wait for a big content drop all the more agonizing. As to the second part of Ben's response, he clearly cares about communication and transparency with the community. A lot. Which makes sense, seeing as it's his job. He is actively working on trying to get the community transmissions up to a more regular release schedule, as well as evolving them into a more interactive experience, such as a weekly blog that details what the team will be working on that week, which was an example he had mentioned in a response to another comment on the thread. Now, his next response I admired for staying professional in the face of a pretty snarky comment, but here he again verifies the new world that is coming soon to Battlefront 2. It is unclear whether he means the world itself will actually be coming with the rest of the solo season, but he at least verifies new content will indeed be coming this month. As to what it is, he kept saying that more will be unveiled at EA Play, so it looks like we will have to wait until next weekend for more details on what to expect this month, and maybe even further out if we're lucky. Next up, we had a commenter putting the topic of content aside for a moment and bringing up some of the much-needed balancing changes that need to happen in Battlefront 2. They brought up some great points, such as how weak the Specialist feels overall, how weak the Rocket Trooper's rocket is, and the overpowered ion turret, among many others. Ben replied mainly to the issue of the troopers, saying the Specialist and the Officer are both going to be seeing some tweaks in June, which is important to note because the changes seem to be stemming from a community feedback thread about troopers. Looks like the Officer will finally be getting powered down a bit, so enjoy it while you can, and hopefully the Specialist earns herself a nice buff. Maybe just 25 more health. I think the Specialist is pretty decent already, but the extra health could be nice. Following this, somebody had a pretty funny response saying, "No more hotfixes," which after this last one I'll have to almost agree with them. But besides this, Ben just kept saying to wait until EA Play. that it is right around the corner and to expect more information about the game at that time. Going back to the first comment Ben made, toward the end he claims the game is on a steady 180 and is headed toward good things. He mentioned that the last few weeks have been especially good and a lot of movement has been made. He hopes that it will fall into action shortly. These were the most important key points I could find throughout the post, and a lot of it is pretty insightful. Ben seems pretty set on keeping our attention on EA Play, which at this point is only a week away. We really won't have to wait that much longer before we get some news that actually isn't about news. So what do you think? Do you guys have a positive feeling about what Ben is saying, or are you feeling disheartened with this long wait we've had to put up with? Personally, I'm pretty excited. This is some pretty clear communication, and it's the best we've gotten in a while. It's enough to hold me over until EA Play at least, and hopefully all of our patience will be rewarded with some great news about upcoming content. Thank you all for joining me today. My channel is almost at that 1,000 subscriber milestone, and I appreciate the hell out of everybody who has subscribed so far and helped get this channel to where it is. If you enjoy my videos and you like what I do on here, smash that subscribe button and be a part of my growing community. Give this video a thumbs up and make sure to ring that bell so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video. This has been Turkish Delight. I'll see you all out on the battlefront. Peace. Rum, tequilas, margaritas, got me chilling with the divas and all of the spicy senoritas. They be dancing on the table, oh so graceful.